The Bitcoin Group, the American original. For over the last 10 seconds, the sharpest Satoshis, the best Bitcoins, the hardest cryptocurrency talk. We'd like to welcome our panelists, Theo Goodman from Haas Online.
Good evening, everyone.
Tone Vase from Liberty Life Trail.
Good evening, everyone.
Jeffrey Jones from the Bitcoin News Show.
Oh, sorry, I was staring at the Bitcoin price. Hello, everyone.
And I'm Thomas Hunt from the World Crypto Network. Moving on to our 2016 Bitcoin Year in Review Spectacular. Imagine fireworks. Issue 1, biggest winner. Theo Goodman, who is the biggest winner for 2016? Theo is still muted. Can you hear
Here
me?
I am.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. Here I am. The biggest winner of 2016 is, of course, Rare Pepe is the biggest winner of 2016 by far. Winner of 2016 Bitcoin, and Rare Pepe is the winner of 2016 in general. Rare Pepe is everywhere. Rare Pepe is in all forms. Everybody knows about Rare Pepe. Rare Pepe has been on the national news, the right-wing news, the left-wing news, the center news, the Bitcoin news. It's been on Reddit. He's been on Twitter. She's been on Twitter. All kind. Rare Pepe is everywhere. Rare Pepe is everything. Rare Pepe is 2016, and it's all about.
It's all about Rare Pepe. Tone Vase, biggest winner 2016.
All right, having mouse delays. All right, so for me, the biggest winner of 2016, and this was a very hard one. I'm gonna have to go with Uno Coin out of India. Had a startup that they did with very little funding, just basically Coinbase, but they did it in the perfect market. Later on this year, the Indian government just cancels percent of the currency in that country. So talk about a perfect company. So to me, the winner of the year, the Uno Coin, over in Bangalore, India, being funded. They just got like 2 million, and 2 million for them is like equivalent to the 100 million that Coinbase got, considering their expenses. The team, Sunny Ray is great. I'm sure their team is good. Would love to go out there one day and visit it. Check out the operation firsthand. The winner of the year, Coin.
Excellent pick, Tone. Let's go to Jeffrey Jones. Your thought for the winner of 2016.
Yeah, this one was tough, because everybody in the space is working really hard. They're all trying to make Bitcoin happen for everybody. So I just kind of had to choose Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin is the winner this year because, we had the halving go off without a hitch. We had the price go up. We had, which is good for all the bag holders. We had the launch of SegWit. I really got to go with Bitcoin itself. Just kick ass this year, and I'm super proud of it, and super proud to be a part of it and this whole movement. So Bitcoin is my choice.
We're also joined by Gabriel D. Vine. Are you with us, Gabriel? No, not with us. Not ready. To have technical difficulties there, and we're going to go to the envelope. Tone, are you ready with the envelope? Nope, Tone's frozen too. All right, Tone, we can see you and hear you.
What's going on? Can you hear me now?
All right, we might be back with Gabe. Do you have a winner for 2016?
Gabe. We're back with Gabe.
No. All right, Tone.
Did you ask a question?
Yeah, we're saying who's the biggest winner for 2016?
Biggest winner for 2016, Bitcoin hodlers. Shout out to everyone hoarding their Bitcoins. Hoarding is an emotionally charged term which refers to what our grandparents and great-grandparents used to call saving, which was given bad press by those who wish to extract wealth from us. So Bitcoin holders were rewarded with 120% gains this year, something along those lines. Vortex seems to be agreeing with that number. Yeah, I think that it's a real vindication for those of us who believe in the many benefits, bright future for this first of the practical digital currencies. And I think Andreas Antonopoulos, who isn't like a big hoarder or anything, he just uses it and gets paid in it for everything, as much as he can. A lot of the stuff that he's been saying has been just really, really dead on. So I'm gonna proclaim Andreas king of the holders right now, just because of his terrific rhetoric. He doesn't come on this show he's only been on a couple times, but Andreas, really, really inspiring stuff. So I'm going to give a special shout out to him as a figure in the community.
So we've heard Rare Pepe, Bitcoin holders, Bitcoin Uno coin. Now we're going to go to Tone Vase. Do you have the envelope?
I do. And this envelope has been hermetically sealed. And here you go.
Whoa.
Excellent.
Here we have the envelope right here. It's been hermetically sealed, as any 4-year-old could see, left on the porch of Funkin' Wagnalls for more than 4 weeks. Now about Karnak the Magnificent. We'll divine the contents. We'll open it up. Here we go. Looks easier on TV. It goes like, and the winner is Bitcoin. Bitcoin is the biggest winner of 2016. The price is back. The stagger is starting to return. Scaling issues are being settled. Everyone's getting back on board a rocket ship to the moon. And let's move to issue 2. Gabe, are you with us?
Indeed I am. Yes, I am.
Issue 2 is the biggest loser. Who's the biggest loser for 2016?
Biggest loser for 2016 is the Ethereum crew. Ethereum experienced a series of devastating failures, hacks, and market slide, community failure in hard fork after hard fork, technology failures. I won't proclaim that we've seen the end of the Ethereum platform by any means this year, but the losses that they've suffered, I would say there's a 50% chance that they will be unable to recover from the devastation visited upon them this year.
Tone Vase, biggest loser.
All right. So, man, you guys took the easy way out by calling Bitcoin the winner of the year. I was like thinking long and hard about this, and there's something else I'm going through this episode. For me, this episode, probably for the first time in the Bitcoin group history, I'm only going to focus on Bitcoin. Focus on altcoins, nor. So everything, all of my answers to all of these things of the year are going to involve.
So we'll just exclude Steemit's 90% loss. Go ahead.
Correct. So for me, the loser of the year will be Mike Hearn. Okay, because he rage quit. I've never heard of anybody rage quitting multiple times, but he actually did. So the first time he did it was when he pronounced that Bitcoin is terrible, and he came out with Bitcoin XT. He didn't actually pick the low, but it was the second bottom. The initial low came in January 2015, and then the second low came on Mike Hearn's Bitcoin Core, and trying to fork Bitcoin into Bitcoin XT August 2015. And then he additionally rage quit right here, this New York Times article by Nathaniel Popper, where he proclaimed that Bitcoin is done. So for me, that Mike Hearn makes my list for loser of the year.
Jeffrey Jones, biggest loser.
Yeah, all these questions were tough, but you know what? I'm gonna have to go with R3 because R3 got many millions of dollars invested into it, and the only thing it had to show for it was Corda. And when that was released, that was absolutely ripped to shreds by Peter Todd and many other developers in the space. And it was just completely embarrassing, in my opinion, you know, for the company and for what they released. We're talking, you know, millions and millions and millions of dollars released this half-baked contraption that is so far from being launched that it's not even funny. I mean, this is like Bitcoin -5 here, and you know, people give Bitcoin crap for not being done fully completed yet, but come on, I mean, this is really bad stuff. So it was really a vindication for a lot of people that was upset about my current exit quitting, you know, and rage quitting and all that kind of stuff. And here's what he had to show for it. He put his cards on the table, showed us, okay, look, this is what I think I can do better than Bitcoin, and he just completely fumbled and fell. So I need the world to understand this, that Corda and these private blockchains are going to put millions and millions of dollars into them, and they're going to come of nothing. Absolutely nothing will come of them. It's going to be ridiculous. So I think, you know, hopefully in 2017, we'll see the narrative switch back from blockchain to Bitcoin.
Embarrassment compounded when Goldman Sachs and others left the group. Theo Goodman, biggest loser.
Thomas, could you give me the envelope, please? Thank you very much. This is 100% provably fair, ladies and gentlemen. And the biggest loser for 2016 is Craig Wright. Craig Wright, you're the biggest loser of 2016. Move the coins, bro. Check the song out, soundcloud.com/Theo Goodman.
Move the coins, bro. But we're going to have to agree with Gabriel. The biggest loser is Ethereum. First, the DAO hack, but then the response to the DAO hack, rolling back the chain, creating the impetus for Ethereum Classic, as there are now 2 chains. Just a total mess. Biggest loser. And now, most defining moment. Jeffrey Jones, most defining moment of 2016.
Oh, let me find it here. We're going a little bit out of order. Okay. To me, I think really the most defining moment for Bitcoin this year was the halving, by far and away. This was code that was written 8 years ago and has been executing perfectly ever since. And this particular execution happened globally, instantly, all around the world. And it was perfectly predicted, perfectly put into the code, executing perfectly, and really it went off without a hitch. There was so much FUD around the halving, talking even from Mike Hearn and from other people talking about how the halving could have Bitcoin spiral down. It could be the spiral of death, they said. It could the halving could cause a spiral of death, and we saw that it went off perfectly, executed globally around the world without a hitch. And it's just a testament to Satoshi. It's a testament to the code. It's a testament to the network, and it's a testament to really what we can do if we try to, what humanity can do when we try our best. So this is just awesome, and I hope that we keep going. And really, cheers to everybody for another 4 years.
They said the miners would stop mining. They didn't stop, did they? No. Theo Goodman, most defining moment.
Okay, we're going to have to take a look at this chart just a moment here. And I think here, as we can see, we've got I'm not really sure of the correct name of the formation, but we've got 2 intersecting times where 2 or 3 people said something in the same week. And right after, we had a major price explosion. I think there were definitely some of the defining moments of 2016 where you had some people really either frustrated, in total disbelief, or just too late to the party. So let's start here. We've got here Roger, you might be cool to hang out with, but here I think you might have been a little wrong. Bitcoin's failure to scale quickly has caused the highest TX fee of all coins. This is driving users to altcoins. This was going on, a lot of people were talking about scaling. And then also at the same week, Coinbase published on their blog, Ethereum is the forefront of digital currency. So right about then is when the latest mega rally started. And I think that was a pretty defining moment. And then we have another defining moment up here recently, I think, where, again, Roger is dropping the economic 101 wisdom nonstop on Twitter and Reddit and Bitcoin.com and wherever else, where he says, again, when the cost of using something goes up, people use less of it. This means high Bitcoin TX fees are causing fewer people to use Bitcoin. But if that were the case, why did it just go from where he said that about 700 something to 950 now? I don't know. We can't say for sure, but it just so happened around the same time that Jeremy, the CEO of Circle, said it's highly unlikely we'll be using Bitcoin in 5 or 10 years. And in maybe a hangover of election disbelief, Circle stopped with the Bitcoin business, and now they're not doing Bitcoin business. I think they're doing Bitcoin OTC, but I think those were two defining moments this year in 2016.
It's always dangerous when you open your mouth. Gabriel D. Vine, most defining moment.
The most defining moment of 2016, in my opinion, was the release of Bitcoin Core version 0.13.1, the final SegWit release, which activated the voting threshold. Now, of course, they're not activated, but turned on the voting mechanism so that the threshold will hopefully be reached within the first 2 months next year, as Andreas Antonopoulos predicted. I predicted that it would activate right away, before learning that a lot of development is still required in order to deal with the differences in the code base, and in order to add support for many wallets. There's a relatively robustly decentralized wallet ecosystem at the moment, and all of them need to, add a bit of code. It's non-trivial. It's a pretty big difference in the code base, but just the fact that the core team was able to, create this concept, flesh out the code, throw it up on testnet, basically over a year ago, and get it launched in 2 releases in a row earlier this year, I think was a huge step. And really, a lot of the naysayers like Roger and other people totally underestimated the, how do I say it? They underestimated how important that psychological milestone was for the community, and for mining CTOs, and for all sorts of other movers and shakers in the ecosystem. Even though we're still only at 25% activation, I think that's awesome, actually, to take a whole year on the testnet, and then to require 95% activation threshold shows so much confidence on the part of the developers that if this is the right thing, then people will vote for, then miners will signal support for it when they're ready. And pools needed to devote developer time. The pools are actually dominoing very slowly. It's like a slow motion domino line here, where each pool needs to expend. They're probably spending thousands upon thousands of dollars, or let's just say Bitcoins upon Bitcoins, to develop all the software, commits for support of this relatively deep change to the protocol and increase in ability for scaling, removing the biggest bug of the entire ecosystem, or part of the biggest bug, the most common types of transaction malleability. That is just huge, so huge. And I think it was very underestimated. Guys like Vinny Lingham, which would be my runner-up for winner of the year, as far as just making some very, very accurate calls on Bitcoin price and Bitcoin happenings. He was one of the voices accurately describing how these advances in the Bitcoin protocol are encouraging so much optimism and trust in the software, and really giving a lot of robustness.
It's important to take your time and be correct when dealing with money, and we'd hate for there to be two Bitcoins, right? Tone Vase, most defining moment.
All right, it's actually good being last because two of my answers were already taken, because I wrote down a few just in case because they were obvious. And SegWit was one and the halving was one. So those have already been taken, which is good. That's a good thing. That's not a bad thing, because I don't have to explain those. So for me, as much as I want to this nonsense and how a coin can split in two, what I'm going to go with, for me, the defining moment, and it's not one moment, but it happened fairly quickly over a month, over the last month actually, is the war on cash. And I think this will be the defining moment of 2016 leading into 2017, because this is when the world found out how all these governments are really pushing to eliminate cash. And this will probably be the most important and useful thing the government can do to support Bitcoin. And we've already seen it in India, in Venezuela, and Australia, and Europe is talking about it. And there's been rumblings in the US about it, but US is probably the last one to do it. The Scandinavian countries already have plans to go to a fully digital, non-cash societies. I'm sure Switzerland is not far behind. And I think this is the year that will be remembered for when this trend began and what has put Bitcoin on the map. So for me, it's the general concept of war on cash as the defining moment of 2016.
They were the biggest loser, and they're the most defining moment. Ethereum rolls back the chain caused by the DAO hacked for $50 million. You can talk about the problem of putting all your eggs in one basket, but they proved it. The developers give up immutability to give their money back. Short-sighted and a mistake. Let's move on to best.
Good choice. Good choice. I was really choosing between those two at the very end.
It was close. And now back to Tone for best Bitcoin company. Who's the best Bitcoin company, Tone?
Oh my God, this is the one I really wanted to go last on, because this is another one where I have three freaking things on my list. And I have to pick one of the three. And I don't really want to say what the other two were. And I don't think anyone on this panel is going to pick them. And this is very hard. And I'm going to go off the beaten path a little bit with a lot of speculation behind it. For me, the best company has to be Bitfury. And it's not for what they did. It's for what they didn't do. They're in support of SegWit. They do a lot of research. And they tried out all of these other things in order to show that they're not good, like Bitcoin Unlimited and Bitcoin XT. And they're making chips. They're not causing too many waves.
And light bulbs. Also light bulbs.
Yes. they don't they don't get crazy into politics. And I think that they're playing possum in that they're not the biggest miner, the biggest miner. I think they have so much knowledge and so much expertise in mining, and they're trying to stay under the radar as much as possible to keep confidence in Bitcoin as high as possible, and I respect that. So I have other companies on my list, but I want to give big credit to Bitfury for just doing some of the best job in mining, not mining empty blocks, and pointing out some of the nonsense that's going on in the mining space. And mining is one of the two most critical aspects of Bitcoin, along with wallets. And exchanges are a distant third, and everything else is a long way away. So Bitfury, you got
Jeffrey Jones, best Bitcoin company, 2016.
Yeah, I too, like Tone, had a few, and oh man, it's hard to choose. We love everybody working in the Bitcoin space, so we just want to encourage everybody to keep going. So I'm going to have to go with BitSquare, the decentralized Bitcoin exchange. Now, this software doesn't have a whole lot of liquidity in it yet, and it's really in its early stages. But what these people did with such little funding, and I mean almost no funding. I don't even believe they have any VC funding. I mean, they had a crowdfunding, but they have done. They continue to release update after update, fix after fix, relentlessly. They're on Reddit, they're on Twitter. You know, they're all over the place, and they're trying to get the word out about Bitcoin. And these guys have done amazing work. BitSquare, and it's open source. You know, BitSquare is completely open source. BitSquare will be looked at upon by many decentralized exchanges in the future as the beginning, and they'll look to it for insight, and they'll see that this was they could see the dream. You know, almost they can see the dream by just looking at it. And so that the dream, of course, is to have nothing but decentralized exchanges and have no centralized exchanges, therefore no central point of failure that can cause things like the Bitfinex hack, right? So just relentless, these guys. I really am proud of what they're doing. Everything's looking good, and so you guys just keep on going. There's going to be more of this in 2017 and into 2018, more decentralized exchanges, and we need them. So keep up the good work, and that's my company of the year.
Theo Goodman, your thoughts on company of the year?
I gotta open the envelope. 100% provably fair, and the winner is Bitcoin Company of the Year, Nitrogen Sports. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Nitrogen Sports, actually a use for your Bitcoins, actually a reason to use Bitcoin besides getting 5% off buying a carpet that you're going to walk over every day, and you can tell someone that you paid for that in Bitcoin because you got 5% off, which is not bad. But Nitrogen Sports is a lot cooler. You can bet on sports. Check it out, nitrogensports.me, and that is the Bitcoin Company of the Year 2016.
Gabriel Devine, best Bitcoin company.
Best Bitcoin company. Well, Bitfury is pretty awesome, and BitSquare, I don't know if they count as a company. Are they even a company?
Not technically.
Yeah, I mean, if they did a crowdfund, maybe they do have a corporation or something. But I'm going to go with a traditional choice of Blockstream. You know, the Blockstream team comes out with some really seminal academic work, as well as just practical code that, you know, is running in production. They did a lot of the work on SegWit. They're doing work on on side chains along with Paul Stortz. So I'm going to say Blockstream. I think they're once again engendering a lot of confidence in the Bitcoin ecosystem. Confidence equals price rise equals equals more usage, equals more robustness, equals bright future for Bitcoin. So Blockstream.
And the best Bitcoin company in 2016 is Coinbase, making it easy to buy and sell Bitcoin, accepting credit and debit cards, launching an exchange with GDAX, expanding into Ethereum and Litecoin, altcoin sales. Great work. And now, the worst Bitcoin company of 2016, Theo Goodman.
Ladies and gentlemen, the worst Bitcoin company of 2016. It was a tough decision, and there were many choices. 2016 has brought us some dark clouds that we must tread through. In order to reach the moon, there are many bad companies in the way. And as of late, there has been a lot of discussion about the block size limit. And there are some people that are blocking the block size limit of the block. And in that case, I'm going to have to say, via BTC, you're the worst company of 2016 because your whole mission is just to block, but you want bigger blocks. What's up with that? Come at me, bro.
They're blocking for bigger blocks. Gabriel D. Vine, worst Bitcoin company.
The worst Bitcoin company. Boy, it's, you know, it's kind of a mean thing to say. You know, I mean, these guys are all trying to make money here, and they're trying to make the world a better place. So, you know, as they say on Silicon Valley. Oh God, worst Bitcoin company. I'm gonna have to say that Coinbase is the worst because of the rhetoric. Even though they're pushing back against the IRS, I have a strong suspicion that in the background they're actually providing a lot of data to various parties, and I just don't appreciate the fact that the rhetoric coming off the CEO and the way that they introduced Ethereum support. Oh, you know what? Screw it. I'm going to go with Circle instead. Circle dropped Bitcoin exchange support this year. I mean, Coinbase isn't great. They were like, you know, the CEO was saying Bitcoin, you know, is dead and Ethereum's the future. That's idiotic. But I'm going to say I'll give them the runner-up, and I'll give the prize to Circle for dropping Bitcoin support. You know, Bitcoin exchanging support this year. Circle.
Dropping Bitcoin just before the big price rise. Tone Vase, worst Bitcoin company.
All right. Oh man. So I was gonna go with Coinbase, but now that Gabriel like spent all of his time talking about Coinbase being the worst Bitcoin company, I spent that time thinking of another company that would have been the worst Bitcoin company, and I came up with the answer. And I guess because I don't know, maybe I'm turning into a fish. I have just forgot the new answer that I came up with because I was going to talk about Coinbase. Give me 1 second, because and I even thought of a reason too to make it the worst. Okay, here we go. So because Coinbase was quasi-taken, which was my first choice, my choice for the worst Bitcoin company is, and it's kind of like the same company, they're competing with each other, is like Chain Analysis and Elliptic. These companies that are blatantly just trying to map and identify Bitcoin users. And them, you know, and I've met these people, I've met these CEOs, they speak at conferences, and I don't understand how the Bitcoin community is not, you know, angry at them. Like, I understand that the government wants to know of our Bitcoin addresses, but I don't think that we should, you know, pay attention to these people. I don't think that we should. I think that these companies should be boycotted. I know some people think that because of these companies, there will be, you know, they will be the ones bringing fungibility to Bitcoin because the Bitcoin community will fight against these companies and identifying addresses. But that isn't the issue, right? I mean, like, yes, our Bitcoin core developers will give us fungibility to fight against these companies, but one of the things that are more important than fungibility right now at the moment, and scaling is one of them, that And I hated how the people in the Bitcoin community that believe in Bitcoin think that they're doing a good thing. And I've spoken to some of these CEOs. They're doing a good thing by identifying, Bitcoin identities. So, and no, I don't think the Monero is the solution, but I don't want to. But I'm not talking about altcoins. This is a Bitcoin show. But yeah. So to me, those are the worst companies. Though Coinbase was originally my first choice.
And finally, Jeffrey Jones, worst Bitcoin company, 2016.
That's cool, guys. Just take all the easy ones. Let's see. Zcash. No, just kidding, because that's not a Bitcoin company. It's tough, but I'm gonna probably have to go with Bitfinex because they kind of turn things around, and I know that they're working hard. And like Gabriel said, it's hard to call it the worst Bitcoin company, right? But goddamn, how many times do they have to get hacked and take down the price before somebody has to call them a worst Bitcoin company, right? I hope that we're currently in the middle of a big rally. And I really hope I think everybody is just hoping, crossing your fingers, that Bitfinex doesn't get hacked and screw up this freaking rally, because this rally is really on track to hit new all-time highs. And we really were on track to hit all new-time highs earlier this year, back in June and stuff. And then of course the Bitfinex got hacked, and then the Dow right after that. So it just was just destroyed, poured complete cold water on the huge fiery rise. But we're back at it again 6 months later or so, and we're ready for the all-time highs. Everybody's ready. And so Bitfinex, please double and triple and quadruple check all of your security measures, so for the good of the whole community, please. That's it for me.
Excellent companies, all worthy of mention, but the worst Bitcoin company is Coinbase, giving all of their customers information to the IRS, collecting that information in the first place, and now allowing those Bitcoin addresses to perhaps become tainted, perhaps bringing Bitcoin pseudo-anonymity and fungibility to a screeching halt. Biggest surprise, Gabriel Devine, biggest surprise of 2016.
The biggest surprise of 2016. God, I haven't been surprised at all. I'm gonna say it was the death of my red lava lamp. I bought that thing used on eBay for cheap. I put a Divine sticker on it, and then my girl didn't like that sticker for some reason, which I don't want to air our grievances publicly, but that was a bit of a point of contention. And then, things conspired this year. We had Carrie Fisher die. Then I watched Singing in the Rain for the first time. And then Debbie Reynolds passes away, and she was incredible. I mean, you like Carrie Fisher's performance. Boy, her mom could sing, super cute. Just, wow. Singing in the Rain is a freaking psychedelic, crazy movie. That is crazy, from 52. Anyways, so, and then the lava lamp on top of it. See, I was expecting death, chaos, Brexit, Trump. I was expecting all that this year. But the lava lamp, I'm going to just leave you with a sigh. That was very unexpected.
For the man who expected everything, the loss of a lava lamp. Excellent colors in Singing in the Rain. Tone Vase, are you with us for a biggest surprise?
Yes. I didn't know I was going to be next. Okay, so for me, the biggest surprise, and this might sound weird, is Roger Ver. Because I've known Roger Ver for a few years now, and I've spent time with him, I've hung out with him. And what he's been doing the last 6 months with this Bitcoin Unlimited crusade, I mean, to me, that is still founding. Like, I just don't understand. I don't understand why he's openly saying maybe a hard fork isn't all that bad after seeing what happened with Ethereum. He's on this crusade for censorship on our Bitcoin. Look, I just don't get it. I'm sorry, this doesn't make sense to me. I know there's like a million conspiracy theories that he's been coerced and that he's part of the government now, and People think that he's out of money and whatever. He wants to start a new chain where he becomes rich. I don't believe all that. Like I just don't. I'm sorry. I need proof, right? So I still want to believe it's the same Roger Ver, but I just don't get it. And to me, that is the biggest surprise. The way in 6 months, he went from like being the Bitcoin Jesus to people calling him, like the Bitcoin devil or, the Bitcoin Antichrist, right? And I've been, getting a little like frustrated with that as well, because I'm on the Segwit camp. Not just him, several people whose opinions I respected have gone to the Segwit camp, even like Jerry Chan, and I know he's not all that well known, Rick Falquinge, and like again, I'm trying to stay away from like this altcoin nonsense. So I'm trying to like stick to the Bitcoin. And to me, just the biggest surprise has been Roger Ver's actions and statements the last 6 months. I'm sorry, I don't get it.
Jeffrey Jones.
He was our champion, and I don't know what's going on. Jeffrey
Jones, biggest surprise 2016.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, I think the whole world was kind of wondering what's wrong with Roger, but we'll get to that later. Let's see here. Yeah, that was a big surprise to us all. Still is. Let's go with me. So I think that really one of the biggest surprises for me anyway was how quickly the U.S. government kind of, or specifically just this judge, declared Bitcoin was money, right? So in that particular federal judge in New York back in September, that one judge declared Bitcoin as money. I really just did not see any federal judge declaring Bitcoin as money anytime this soon. I mean, maybe like 2017, maybe 2018, years from now. I just didn't see an actual judge getting it, right? Like understanding that this is freaking money. This has value. This is not something just to be auctioned off. This is not something, that's run by a central company or anything like that. No, this is real money. And so that kind of took me back a little bit. I was like, wow, I think that there's some people, in the politics that actually get it. Some of the politicians actually do get it. So we hope that those are the people, that continue to represent us in the government. But yeah, that really took me back. And so that made me happy. That made me smile that Bitcoin was recognized as money there. But of course, all sorts of things happened after that. So we'll see what happens. But yes, Bitcoin is money.
Theo Goodman, biggest surprise 2016.
Just a moment, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to get the envelope. The biggest surprise of 2016, Ethereum Classic. Not a lot of people expected that to even happen. It was summer. Everyone was chilling at the beach, on vacation. Bitcoin was kind of chugging along. No one knew about the DAO hack. And, oh, yeah, we got to kind of fix this, sort of fork it or whatever. But I don't think a lot of people really expected that to happen. And it was a surprise. And frankly, it's a surprise that it's still around and it's going pretty strong. So I would definitely say that, yes, it's not Bitcoin minimalist, but that's okay. It's very much 2016. Ethereum Classic is 2016's biggest surprise.
Most definitely a surprise, Theo, and surprising to see a whole developer community and even the support of Barry Silbert. It's an interesting thing. But it seems like Tone can see my sheet. Can you see my paper from over there, Tone? Because the biggest surprise of 2016 is Roger Ver. Surprised to see the once great Bitcoin Jesus become so adamantly opposed to Segwit and the Blockstream team. The scaling debate in general caused a huge rift, pitting Bitcoiner against Bitcoiner like a civil war. Bitcoin Classic, Bitcoin XT. But let's move on to the biggest comeback of 2016. Theo Goodman, biggest comeback.
I'm going to go with an exchange, actually, BitMEX. They had some issues, say, early 2016. They weren't hacked or anything, but just a lot of discussion. I think they kind of didn't really, I think they've figured out what they want to do, and I think they're going in a good direction. They're figuring out what the users want. There you can trade with leverage, different futures products, and you can also trade altcoin futures by just depositing Bitcoin, which maybe sounds crazy to some people, but it's a place where you can short altcoins. And they just have, I think that the way that they've developed has been good in the last half of 2016, and they keep on improving. And I think they'll be able to improve more if they keep it up. And I think that is probably one of the biggest comebacks.
BitMEX famously allowed Zcash futures before there was even a market. Gabriel D. Vaughn, biggest comeback.
I am going to say that my answer will be quite obvious. And I'm thinking maybe Thomas's envelope is going to have some similarities, but I'm going to just say Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself. You know, a lot of us insiders did not expect 3-year bear trend after the bubble. I mean, even though it was clear in my eyes that the late 2013 price rise was a bubble and not sustainable, I thought there would be a correction. However, the duration of the correction did take me by surprise. I guess it wasn't a 3-year bear trend. It's more like 2 years. And then it kind of just, found its bottom and consolidated for a while before heading back up this year. So yeah, biggest comeback for sure. Bitcoin, so many obituaries, so many smug statist authoritarians proclaiming that I told you so. And just like they had in 2011 after the crash from $30 to $2, just like they did in early 2013 on the crash from $266 to $60. And it was just so transparent how wrong they were. And once again, Andreas Antonopoulos, he didn't change his message. He just found metaphor after metaphor to explain how amazing this revolution in money and software was. So Bitcoin is the comeback. And next year will be quite interesting to see what happens after the comeback.
I like how they all have to explain it. Oh, remember Bitcoin? It's still around. Oh, ha, ha, ha. It just keeps running. It's software. It don't care. Tone Vase, biggest comeback, 2016.
All right, so this was actually a tough question. I'm going to share my screen again. So for me, and this is going to go a little bit off the board, right? So for me, the biggest comeback is Paxful and Backpage, right? It's not even so much the biggest comeback; it's more like a survival, right? Because I'm more like how do you come back? How do you come back alive from this video shown? I believe definitely all over Florida and probably nationally, right? And how do you not get killed by our trigger happy police? And Ray, CEO of Paxful, who we now know as Mohammed, I'm sorry, I'm not going to let you live this down. Maybe when I start my podcast, come on my show, we'll talk. But when you do something stupid and it makes national news, you will be forever remembered, right? So the fact that they are still alive after their stupidity stunt, and they're back in operation. They did not last in holding very long. And also the CEO of Backpage itself also got arrested for running Backpage to begin with. And last I heard, he is also out of jail. So the fact that Backpage is still around and Paxful is there helping them use Bitcoin as their basically what that company does. They're the call support for Backpage for the escorts to post their ads and get their Bitcoins. So yeah, that is my comeback of the year. And I hope they keep doing what they're doing.
Truly incredible comeback. And just to remind the audience, They were walking around their apartment in ski masks with machine guns. Their neighbors noticed, called the police, and they obviously got in trouble for having perhaps illegal weapons and other things, allegedly. But
Oh yes, that's right. This goes to audio only, so they don't know. Yes, the Paxful team was arrested for being stupid and posing with guns and ski masks, and police were called, and they broke down their house, found a lot of drugs and bullets, and nothing was actually.
Even if you do have the video, it's quite scary. The guy's standing near a balcony with a machine gun. He's got his mask on. It looks like maybe a hostage situation. You don't know. But yes, it was just a unfortunate photography. Let's go to Jeffrey Jones, biggest comeback 2016.
Well, let's see. I just want to point out one more thing that Gabriel said, or just emphasize it again. When Ethereum rose this year by 1,000%, I tell you, there was a lot of smug Ethereum people out there, really, really quick to judge, Bitcoin, because Bitcoin was kind of down at that point, and it was down for a while. And of course, then the Ethereum's rise. I mean, there was charts from The Economist, right? There was all of these charts pointing out how Ethereum rose like crazy, and then Bitcoin's just going down, right? So let's just get that out of the way, that that was ridiculous. Okay, now second thing is, I was going to go with Shrem, but then he went and started this whole huge private blockchain thing, private blockchain security thing that's not open to U.S. investors. Yeah, that sounds legit. So Bitcoin Uncensored just interviewed them recently about the product, and needless to say, it's pretty much everything that they thought it was. So you guys can check that interview out for yourself. So not going to go with Charlie. So instead, let's see, I guess I'm going to go with Patrick Byrne, because this man was actually hospitalized, and we know that he's been fighting the good fight against Wall Street for years and years and years. I mean, over a decade now, been called the scourge of Wall Street, right? Or many other different names on Wall Street. As he continues to expose the naked short selling and other various nefarious things that goes around down there. He came back. He came back earlier this year, or in the middle of the year, around June, July. And he was out of the hospital, and he's been back at it, kicking ass with T0 and his platform, trying to bring transparency on Wall Street. And when he came back, he hit the ground running. Like he's doing all sorts of things. TO is just killing it down there. So I encourage everybody to check that out. But Byrne, man, he really is a trooper, and I'm really so freaking proud to have him in the space. I mean, he's really, just to have him back is just great. There was all sorts of conspiracy theories kind of going around when his health was ill, but I tell you, I'm just glad to have him back, and he is as ferocious and fierce as ever, and as willing to take down Wall Street as ever. So kick ass, Patrick. Glad to have you back.
Excellent pick, Jeffrey. And of course, our best wishes go out to Patrick, and we're glad that he recovered. That's great to hear. And you were very close. The best comeback of 2016, Charlie Shrem, released from prison, vowing to get back into the industry. He got back in with an Ethereum-based stock market tokenization plan that it seems he hasn't missed a beat, and he's back on the cutting edge, right between law and cryptocurrency. Best of luck to the biggest comeback, Charlie Shrem. And now
I think we'll be saying that again. I think he's going back to where he was, and then he's gonna have a second comeback. Okay, and I've already.
Well, I'm sure we all remember Back to the Future. Good old jailbird Johnny. He cries whenever you take him out of his pen. He just cries.
Yeah, he's I think he's dying to go back. That's what I'm saying.
I hope not. I hope not. For the best for his family and everything. But and now Jeffrey Jones. Enough already. What have you had enough of in 2016?
Oh man, I get to go first. I'm taking the low-hanging fruit then, people. Holy crap. The what? Let's see here. The enough that I had already. Okay. We already went through Roger Ver, obviously, but really, let's finally put to bed, to rest, the term blockchain. Let's freaking finally Come on, at least either define the son of a bitch, okay, or freaking go back to Bitcoin. That's all there is to it. We are just, so many people, even within the blockchain space, are getting sick of it. Like, because they try to tell people what they do. They can't tell them. They try to tell their investors, well, what they're going to release. Nobody can understand it. Nobody can prove that they're secure. Nobody can prove that they can do all these things that they promise, right? Like at this point, blockchain can freaking cure your mom's cancer and like bring back your grandpa from the dead. Like at this point, we really need to really get this bubble popped, let people in on the truth that there is only one blockchain, and that is Bitcoin. There are other blockchains, maybe, yes, as long as they use proof of work. But I tell you right now, it is going to be Bitcoin that's going to be powering this planet. If it's not Bitcoin, it will be something very, 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 very similar to Bitcoin. So that is definitely enough already. The blockchain word. Let's get rid of it, people. Let's get rid of it.
Theo Goodman, enough already?
Enough already with these RBTC conspiracy theories and fake news. Enough is enough.
Gabriel D. Vaughn, what have you had enough of in 2016?
Wow, so much enough already this year. I mean, this was like 2016 could almost be considered the year of enough already. And you know what's interesting is I feel like we actually reached peak enough already in 2016 and are going to be seeing reality biting back in 2017, 18, 19 in a way that is going to really upset the shysters, the shilsters, the shills, the scammers, the scamsters, the criminals, the bastards, the pedophiles, the criminals, the baby killers, the murderers and torturers, and the authoritarian surveillance state totalitarian jerk-offs. So, personally, I just eat it all up. I love everything. I love fake blockchains. I love distributed ledger tech. I love altcoins. I love OneCoin. So you know what? I actually had enough already in 2015 and 2016. I want more. I have wanted more, and the world has been giving me more. Unfortunately for me, and my desire for more enough alreadys, I think 2017's, like I said, going to be a reality striking. And my enough already addiction will go unsatisfied. So I'm going to say I've had enough already of enough already. And I think that I'm going to go meta on the question and say that we should all encourage the bullshit and the scammers. As Tone rightly points out, certain use cases that people like to poo-poo, such as drugs and ransomware and gambling, are superb use cases for an anonymous digital currency. And we should encourage OneCoin, because all the people that got scammed with OneCoin are going to look into Bitcoin and see, oh, that was what they were pretending like they were using. And then they're all going to come and they're going to flood into Bitcoin. So 2016 for me was the year of enough already.
I've also heard that in 2017, all of the celebrities are going to stop dying. No celebrities will die in 2017. Tone Vase, enough already.
All right. I have my answer already. I was gonna talk about, the high fees and Bitcoin transactions and the full blocks, but you know what? I'm changing my answer to the low-hanging fruit after listening to you guys. Already that your crypto is better than Bitcoin. Why can't people just accept the fact that we now have a censorship-resistant value transfer that is fast enough and fungible enough for everything or anything they need to do? Just accept it. Yes, you were late and you're not as rich as Roger Ver. I'm not either, right? Like, I was late also, but I have accepted that fact. I regret many of my decisions in Bitcoin. Those decisions came after I've acquired some Bitcoin. I don't regret not getting into Bitcoin earlier than I did. And the reason is because I didn't get in. I Googled Bitcoin I heard of Bitcoin in late 2010. Was debating whether they should accept it. I've really heard of Bitcoin in mid 2011 when WikiLeaks started accepting it for donations. Never, I was never into drugs, so Silk Road never came across my radar. I Googled Bitcoin in 2012 and all that came up. And I was working like 12-hour days. Bear Stearns had collapsed. That's where I was working. I'm now still in finance, working long hours, commuting to the city. I was too busy. I looked at Bitcoin in 2012 and also was mining. And I remember saying even out loud, I don't have time for this. I'm not going to be mining with my computer. I'm not going to be programming. I hate programming. 2013, during the Cyprus events, I finally got into Bitcoin, and I accepted the fact that I was late. And I didn't become rich, and I was late, and I accepted that. And I'm happy that Bitcoin exists, and it does what a lot of us libertarians really wanted it to do. 3 to 6 months, I just get bombarded with, this is the latest and greatest thing, whether it's Ethereum, whether it's Steemit, whether it's Zcash, and now it's Monero. That's what I had enough of. Enough of your crypto is better and you want to disrupt the system. Test that. That's fine. But stop pushing it onto people. I've already grown out of the fact that I used to push Bitcoin onto people and I've stopped. Emailing and texting me, hey, can I get some Bitcoin? And my answer to them is, I wish I had more Bitcoin. And even if I had more Bitcoin, I still wouldn't sell it to you. Talking about Bitcoin, it's doing its own thing. So that's what I really had enough of, and I kind of realized it while you guys were talking, which is why this might sound a little ranty right now. But that was like that. Your crypto is better, and it's not. I'm sorry, it's just not. Confidence goes a long way.
Sadly, they're probably going to call you the maximalist maximist, but there's also something about being right. But Mr. Jeffrey Jones was correct. Enough already. Blockchain is a separate technology. It's great to have an uneditable database stored on multiple servers, but you don't need a blockchain to do it. And if you're going to have a blockchain, you're going to need a token of value to pay people to maintain it. That token of value is Bitcoin. And now, without further ado, what you've all been waiting for, Bitcoiner of the Year. Theo Goodman, who is your Bitcoiner of the Year?
Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, please. The Bitcoiner of the Year is the DAO Hacker. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, he already won one award from CoinDesk. The Blockchainer of the Year, DAO Hacker, is also the Bitcoiner of the Year. Why is the DAO Hacker the Bitcoiner of the Year when the DAO is not on the Bitcoin blockchain? Well, the so-called DAO hacker that simply executed code that was there, what did he do, or she do, with the Ethereum and DAO tokens that they got? They sold them for Bitcoin. The DAO hacker is a Bitcoiner and the Bitcoiner of 2016.
Very good. Gabriel D. Vine, Bitcoiner of the Year, 2016.
There's a lot of superb individuals in the space. And I'm going to have to go back to the guy that I've mentioned already 3 times. He's twice already. He's been at it for years now. I mean, he really started to get speaking engagements and stuff 3 years ago, and he's been very steady. But I feel like this year he kind of broke through to a new level of awesome in a way. I know that not everybody's a fan of him, and he's extremely open-minded. He'll go and run classic nodes and XT nodes. He doesn't like to be. He's definitely not a partisan. he's definitely a peacemaker type of guy, and people get mad at him because they're like, well, you know, not everybody can be right, and they're correct about that. But the thing is, it's technology, and it's very hard to make predictions. And if you're a public figure, it's very risky too. So it's a little bit, he has to play it safe, because nobody really knows what's going on. And he, you know, for example, I go out on a limb, make conjectures, you know, subscribe to conspiracy ideas. I won't even call them theories, since they turn out to be true so often. But Andreas Antonopoulos really has an extremely rare and superb talent for creating these concise, accurate, and aphoristic metaphors that are so illustrative of the many powers and deep change that Bitcoin brings with it into our society, into our culture, into technology, into the lives of individuals, and into the freedom-loving peoples of the world, and how much impact it has on the world. You could go through his videos. Actually, all you would need to do is pick up his book, which is more from 2013, 14, 15, the recent book, which is just, they're just transcript of his talks. But these talks, almost every single one, and he improvised, like, I feel like 80% of all his talks. Each one has like a different angle, a different facet, illuminating something in a way that lay people can understand. And yet for us, I won't call us experts, but for us mavens, it's like a new light bulb moment almost every time for me. And I feel like he actually kicked it up a gear in 2016. And this year just like killed it time after time on these Bitcoin meetups throughout Europe. He was in Europe a lot this year, and of course North America as well, and even in South America. I believe he was in Argentina again. I can't quite remember, but like every time I check out his YouTube channel, it's like Zurich, Berlin, Madrid, and each one is different. And it's like this 25-minute talk that just concisely captures a different concept to illustrate the usefulness and power of Bitcoin in such an incredibly viral way. I feel like some of the Bitcoin price is due to his proselytizing alone. Some small but significant portion of it is so incredible. He really is able to grip people's emotions, minds, ideas with his incredible phrasing and ability to compress these very complex and far-reaching concepts into nuggets of wisdom, nuggets of conceptual density that are just so powerful. I think it's great. He's the Bitcoin of the year of 2016 for me.
Some incredible examples from Andreas. I was surprised you're going that direction. I thought you were going to go with Vinnie Lingham. Tone Vase, your thoughts?
All right, so I don't think we've mentioned this organization enough on the show today, and they definitely deserve credit. And that organization is Blockstream. And what they've done with Serial Witness and Bitcoin Core development in general. So because I don't want to pick any specific core developer, because they're all important, from Peter Will to Gregory Maxwell, to Luke Dash Jr., I'm going to go with Adam Back, because he has been named the CEO of that organization, of that company. I think he is like the glue that's holding it all together, and I know how difficult it can be. I mean, again, my Wall Street wasn't a trader. It was working with developers. I was the CTO's right-hand man, even though I wasn't. And my job was to make sure that 30 CFAs get their development done by like 20 developers, and not all of whom agreed on stuff and how to program stuff and all of this. This is a very difficult job. So for me, CEO and steering the ship of Blockstream is probably the most important position in the entire crypto space. And Adam Beck has that honor. He's the year for keeping it all together and getting segued out and making sure that and not going crazy in this political bickering, getting the job done. So so there you go. He's getting my credit for everyone on that team.
Excellent pick, Tone. Jeffrey Jones, your pick for Bitcoiner of the Year 2016.
Again, so many hardworking people in the space. It's hard to decide. But just a quick point to what Gabriel said. We do talk a lot of crap, right? Like, Gabriel talks a lot of crap. I talk a lot of crap. We talk a lot of crap on our Twitter and stuff like that. We say a lot of things that people like Andreas and up there and like Adam Back and stuff like that just can't say, because there are so many people follow them and so many people pay attention to them. They have a much greater honor and duty. And so basically it's kind of up to us to talk the crap. Basically, we're the ones that are going to have to talk crap about Roger, talk crap about all of the, about Bitcoin Unlimited and all these things in VBTC. We kind of say all the crap that they wish they could say, but can't. So I think that honor and duty falls to us. So just wanted to quick mention that. And then as well, so I have and also Andreas, Gabriel was talking about all of the countries. Andreas hit 40 countries. He just recently tweeted that he has now visited 40 countries. So that is something to be said. That's one heck of a dedication to Bitcoin and to the space and to the movement and to the dedication of spreading the word of Bitcoin, because obviously he's not just doing this to get a vacation. This is his full time. He is all in, leveraged hundreds of %. So then now let's get to my Bitcoiner of the Year. Basically, I had a couple different people. I wanted to choose Whale Panda. I wanted to choose Dennis Berneski on Twitter, because he and I are always trying to retweet as much Bitcoin news as possible. And then Blockstream, obviously I wanted to do Blockstream. Tone had that. Blockstream is just kicking ass. I mean, just come on. Just pay attention to their GitHub updates, and you will see the kind of amazing work that these people are putting out. So I guess what I'm going to have to go with, maybe a little bit off the side, is I'm going to have to go with Edward Snowden. Believe it or not, because here's why. Technically he got on Twitter September of 2015, so it technically wasn't 2016. But I mean, the storm that this man created on Twitter when he joined it. I mean, even Twitter had to release a couple of infographics about what happened to the Twitter network when this freaking dude got on Twitter. I mean, it just exploded all over the world. And the news and the information that this guy's been delivering over the past year specifically, I mean, just dissecting all of the fake news, giving us insights into all of these different hacking organizations. It's just been giving us clarity. And of course, I mean, he has been fighting for the American citizen. I mean, so much more than the average American citizen. I mean, this guy has dedicated his life to serving the public, and it really shows with his tweets and with the information that he spreads. And I mean, it's just been a privilege to be able to follow a man like this on a platform like Twitter, like where I can just be inside his head. Like I can just get and see what he's thinking, what's going on. It's just been a privilege. It's been an honor. It's been amazing. And, just to live in this age in general, of course, with Twitter, it's just been great. But to have Edward Snowden come on there and just rock the world, man. Right. And of course, I love how he's still only following the NSA. There's the one person that he's following. Absolutely hilarious. Of course, he's got 1 million people on his list, but man, that was just funny. Still only following NSA. So that's my Bitcoiner of the Year, because he, and the information that he spreads is not just about politics and stuff. It's also about banks. There's also information that's very, very important to Bitcoin that he spreads. And so this is another reason why I think that it very much dovetails into Bitcoin, fintech, and this type of digital hacking and security that we now find us being in the age of the information age. So Edward Snowden, that's my Bitcoiner of the Year.
Excellent pick, Jeffrey. He also saw his life documented in the movie by Oliver Stone, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Follow-up question: will Joseph Gordon-Levitt receive a nomination for the Best Actor Oscar? Yes or no?
Hell yes.
Not even the politicals aside, he'll still be nominated. Sticking with it. All right. Excellent movie, Snowden. Check that out. But our pick for Bitcoiner of the Year is Mad Bitcoins, aka Thomas Hunt. Through trials and tribulation, Hunt, one of the founders of the World Crypto Network, a founder of the Pro Tip Project, creator of the Mad Bitcoins program, continues to create and expand Bitcoin in everything he does, despite having to deal with those who don't believe, or those who only believe in blockchain, or only believe in the coin of the week. You can now hire Thomas Hunt in the San Francisco area for Bitcoin marketing. Hire Thomas Hunt today, or support his Patreon and Bitcoin account to the point where he doesn't have to work and can just make Bitcoin videos for a living. Hire Thomas Hunt today. Now, honorable mention, Theo Goodman, honorable mention, 2016.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, let me get the envelope out. 100% provably fair. Okay, got a long sheet of honorable mentions. It's been a long year, ladies and gentlemen. There's been a lot going on. We have a small list of honorable mentions. So first of all, Ehrman the professor for knowing more than all of us and inventing the concept of selfish mining. Tim Swanson for being the best blocker on Twitter. And Jeremy Allure of Circle for dropping Bitcoin in a post-election hangover of panic and utter disbelief. And last but not least, of course, RBTC for being the center of fake news of Bitcoin.
It's like the end of The Godfather. Theo's just throwing it down, settling all the family business. Gabriel D. Vine, honorable mention 2016.
Honorable mention 2016. Where do I begin? So much honor to go around. So many great people. You know, I would have mentioned you, Thomas, but since you chose yourself for Bitcoin of the Year, I'm going to have to go with Jeffrey Jones. You know, the One Vortex, at the One Vortex on Twitter. Jeffrey has been a terrific fellow. He has been working very diligently on his show, the Bitcoin News Show. I am privileged and grateful enough to have been a frequent guest on that show, and you know, it's I think my favorite thing about Jeffrey Jones, aka Vortex, is his tweets. Actually, some terrific tweets. So I'm going to go with the Vortex.
Tone Vay's honorable mention 2016.
Oh man, I was like, okay. So for me, the honorable mention, and I guess I'm gonna make it plural, honorable mentions of 2016 are the politically incorrect. And to be more specific, I think the Bitcoin Uncensored podcast deserves a lot of credit for a lot of the great work that they do. Krista Rose and John Seff are two of the smartest men in Bitcoin. And I think they deserve a mention. And also the people that they mention that are politically incorrect, honorable mention, which is people like Royal Tiffany and the interviews that they do with Billy the gay prostitute and Barack, the Backpage driver. They do a lot of investigative analysis in this space. They're one of the few podcasts that I like. Yes, I do listen to that podcast. I usually fall way behind and I catch up. Me and them have similar opinions, and I've often been accused of just like stealing their views. But that's because they just have a louder voice. Very often, I beat them to a lot of this news because our podcast is on Fridays and I believe they do theirs on Sunday. So it really depends what order people are listening to these things. I really like what they have to say. And I'm glad that they're in a space. I think that the politically incorrect deserve an honorable mention.
Jeffrey Jones, you were mentioned in this category. Do you have a pick for honorable mention 2016?
Oh God, let's see. Just a couple. We really, you know, Will Panda was one of the ones that I mentioned. You know, I did mention Dennis Berneski. You know, a couple of my honorable mentions actually are for code, really, because BIP 151. I mean, I really hope that that one's going to get posted soon. 151 is really important. That's encrypted connections between the nodes. Then Mimblewimble, we got Tumblebit. So all this awesome encryption stuff is coming into Bitcoin, to make it even more secure. And that's just got to be my honorable mention. Just Bitcoin's relentless refusal to
Release
go.
schedule.
Yeah, it's just as relentless to go into that good night, right? So all these other coins like Monero, all these other coins, they're all pushing all of these different securities, and that's great. But Bitcoin will be still coming out on top.
Yeah, can we,
What
can we
about Tour de Mesa?
Yeah, Tour. I was gonna say Tour. Like, there's a couple of names that I really just was hoping that we would mention, and one of them was Whale Panda. You're doing great work, Whale Panda. Awesome, keep it up. I really like Whale Panda and Tour de Mesa. Again, great work. So I know somebody asked me the other day, like, which people. I think it had to do with Twitter. Like, which people do you are you really impressed with that follow you? And honestly, my answers were, it's not going to be people that are famous. It's going to be people like Tour de Mesa and people like Whale Panda, because I really like and I pay attention to their tweets. So I really like it that they keep an eye on my Twitter feed and occasionally retweet my stuff. And they're not, definitely not globally. And they are known in the crypto space, but I really like the work that they have been doing. Just relentless tweets and not wasted tweets. Every tweet they make has a purpose and a reason. It's also how I try to focus mine as well. Not counting direct tweets to people. Those shouldn't count. Twitter shouldn't even keep a tab on how many you sent like that.
Well, they're running every fire truck in San Francisco in my neighborhood. All of the sirens are overlapping as we prepare for honorable mention, Bitcoiner of the Year 2016. The team that scaled and supported Bitcoin. Truly the heroes of Bitcoin, the developers of SegWit, Lightning Network, Blockstream, and others who did the actual dirty work and got the job done. They expanded the block size slightly, upheld their views despite criticism and divergent projects, and in the end, Bitcoin for the win. Bitcoin endures. The price, now buoyed by the halvening supply short, the Chinese capital controls, and the war on cash, seems to be ascending, and with the price goes interest in Bitcoin. And we now see views on videos expanding and replies on Twitter increasing. Welcome to Bitcoin, new Bitcoiners, and welcome back to old Bitcoiners who have hodled for the longest time. Now is the time when we will take Bitcoin into the future. Now is the time that we will take Bitcoin to the moon. Up, we're out of time. Until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.